Hey everyone, Tony Winston here, taking a look at Fly Me to the Moon, and we're going to talk about the diminished scale. This is a scale you can use if you're already an improviser. If you're just learning to improvise, I don't suggest learning these odd scales. Just, pick out melodies, play by ear, keep them going in your head when you're walking down the street. It's a creative side of you that I think just about everybody has within them. But with some people, it comes out a little easier than others, so you've just got to find a way to channel into that and do it. And it will sound kind of bad at first. What can I say? Anytime I'm working out a new idea, it always sounds bad until, it kind of comes together. The diminished scale is best used on a diminished chord, like this chord, or a dominant seventh chord, especially if it has a flat 9 in it like this one does. So either A flat diminished or G7 with a flat 9, all right? Because they both have that same diminished chord in them. And if you look at the notes that are in the diminished chord, all right, you can start on any one of those notes and go a whole step, then a half step, and continue that pattern. Whole, half, whole, half, whole, half. And because it's repeats like that, there's only 3 diminished scales to learn, because once you start on this one and then start on this one, you're back to a whole step here where you had it on the original scale, and it's the same scale. So, what am I doing? And then this, what would the next one be? And then, yeah, so they're all the same scale. So for F diminished, A flat diminished, B diminished, all the same scale. For G7, B flat 7, D flat 7, E7, all the same scale, okay? Now, if you want to think about it in terms of a dominant chord, you start on the root, go right to that flat 9. That was a half step, so whole step after that. And that's how we're going to use it in this song on the G7th chord. There it is. That was my half step. There's my whole step, my half step. All right, but believe me, you don't want to be thinking half steps and whole steps. You just want to know what scale to play and then do it. And most of these scales can be done with 3 fingers. I use 4th finger on this one coming down, but you don't have to. Okay, so you can do it like that. See if there's any other places in this song we could do it on. So there, that's a real classic part of the diminished scale, is right there around the flat 9, the sharp 9, and the 3rd. Also, the sharp 5, sorry, that's the sharp 4, or the flat 5. And the rest is pretty ordinary. It's just like, the Mixolydian scale. Right, G major scale with a flat 7. But put all this garbage in here. All right, E. All right, that's going to take the same scale as G, right? Because it's a minor 3rd away. That's a whole step plus a half step, so it's going to have the same scale. All right, so I use that same little bit. Or I could use this nice part here with the flat 9 and the sharp 9. Okay, and then let me think about our other songs. There's the 9 again, so I wouldn't use it there. Wouldn't use it there. Maybe. And then... yeah, probably could use it there. Notice that, if you do G7, works there, and a tritone away, which is 2 minor 3rds, so same scale. So if you do tritone substitution, it doesn't change anything at all. Now, the thing about the diminished scale is this part of it is just like the altered scale. So, especially using it in this kind of cool portion of it will work very nicely on a minor 2-5-1. Right? And instead of the Mixolydian portion, to have the whole step portion here, and sometimes this is called the altered scale. What else is it called? I don't know. I have one name for the diminished scale. The diminished scale. I don't call it the octatonic or the double diminished or the whole half or the half whole. I just call it the diminished scale, and you just got to know how to use it. Dominant chords, half step from the root. Diminished chords, whole step from the root. Okay. You know, it'll work on Autumn Leaves. You know, the melody doesn't have a flat 9 or a sharp 9 in it. So, of course, if you're improvising, it works there fine. Yeah, that's the diminished scale I did not show you. You know, what's the root? I don't know. Depends on what chord I'm playing it with. If I'm playing it with a E flat diminished chord, then E flat is the root. If I'm playing it with a D dominant 7th, then D is the root. Notice this one has black keys here and here. One of the other ones has black keys here and here, so it's a little symmetrical there. And then the other one's got black keys there and there. So that's the odd one, actually. So there's the flat 5. You might think it would work here. And it kind of does, but once again, the Lydian dominant probably works a little better on a 2 chord. That's a dominant chord. Another thing, too, about the diminished scale is there's just so many little patterns that you can do. And I cover a lot of those patterns in one of my most popular videos, which is the diminished scale, a deep dive or an in-depth look, whatever it's called, I don't know. I'll put a link to it down in the description. And, you know, if you really want to get into the diminished scale, that's a good place to start. Okay, thanks a lot, everyone. I will see you again soon.